Well, bilateral relations between South Africa and Mozambique will be strengthened today. And this as President Cyril Ramaphosa is set to host his Mozambican counterpart, President Filipe Nyusi, for a third session of the Binational Commission. Now, this is aimed at boosting trade and investment. Khayelihle Khumalo is on that story. Let's cross to him now to find out a little bit more. And Kaya, good morning. Of course, we know that the foreign relations ministers already met. Another critical issue here, of course, has to do with security, especially since the SADC region deployed its mission in Cabo Delgado. Let's talk a little bit about that and how that is likely to be highlighted today.
Well, that's right, Sakina. As you know, that South Africa is part of that SADC mission in Cabo Delgado. So the northern part of Mozambique really has been battling insurgency. So now the key issues around also making sure that they are well-resourced, and especially because this is a very different mission as opposed to a United Nations-led mission where quite a lot of funds are being pumped by this one particular structure. So all the SADC countries who are contributing, the troops have to really make sure that all the soldiers deployed in that part of Mozambique are really well funded. But apart from that, now the main issues around the reconstruction of Cabo Delgado after years of really just being battered and really affected by terrorism. Now, the SADC mission has been able to make inroads, repelling quite a number of terror attacks. So this is going to be a very key issue between the two leaders. But also, apart from that, it was very clear when the foreign affairs ministers met yesterday, where there was a very clear indication that there is an unwavering commitment between South Africa and Mozambique in making sure that they are able to deal with this particular problem for once and for all.
Kaya, also, of course, the question of energy. We know our energy woes here at home, but when it comes to Mozambique, you know, they are energy rich. So any plans to, address that sort of issue? Do we know anything about that at the moment?
Sakina, when I spoke to South Africa's High Commissioner in Mozambique, General Siphiwe Nyanda, he was very clear. He stated in no uncertain terms that energy is very key. And we know Mozambique, with the large deposit of gas that they have in the northern part of the country. So, albeit as much as we've seen disruption because of the insurgency, but it's going to be one of the very key issues, because we're talking about over 70 agreements in different sectors, and energy, tourism, and many other streams, as well as some of the areas that are being prioritized. So undoubtedly, the two heads of state will be looking at ways to bolster those efforts, especially, like you just alluded, Sakina, that South Africa is one of the most industrialized economies in the continent, is battling the issue of the energy crisis. So to all intents and purposes, Pretoria is eyeing on Mozambique in terms of boosting that. We know that currently a hydroelectric dam, Cahora Bassa, is very essential in terms of giving South Africa, just energy. But also apart from that, we know that currently when you look at the trade volumes between the two countries, South Africa is still enjoying an advantage with over 64 billion rand, mainly of the, diversified goods, and Mozambique really lagging behind with over 11 billion rand. So it is a major concern for the two countries. How do they try and strike a balance in terms of trade?
Well, we'll leave it there for the time being. Khayelihle Khumalo, thanks so much. And of course, no doubt bringing us further updates throughout the morning.